What's up, guys, and welcome back to another man versus deer video. In today's video, we are taking a giant chunk of paddlefish and we are going to see if we can't smoke up something delicious in the old pit boss. Let's jump into it. This is probably one of my bigger bucks to date. Guys, I cannot believe that actually worked. Looks like a double long shot. It was hot, really hot. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you smash that subscribe button. Definitely like the video, and for sure leave a comment before you leave. Whether you got a question, whether you got a different way of doing this, or if you just enjoyed the content, make sure you leave a comment. I absolutely love interacting with you guys. So, I was supposed to be crappie fishing today. That was my plan. I was going to go crappie fishing and make a sweet video of that. But weather had other plans. It has been raining its ass off, thunderstorm, lightning. So instead of fishing, we are doing the next best thing, which is eating fish. I got a gigantic piece of a paddlefish fillet, and we are going to be smoking it up on the old pit boss. I got this thing set to 275, and I've got it heating up right now. So this is going to be my second attempt at smoking spoonbill. I had a catch, clean, cook video I did, which I'm going to link up here, and it was a really awesome trip. Definitely check out that video. But at the end of the video, I brought that fish home, I cleaned it up a little bit, cut the red meat, cut the fat, and then I smoked it right then and there. For about 3 hours, attempted about 165, and I ate it, and it was okay, but it wasn't great. Well, I posted that, and a lot of guys that I know that fish for these regularly, and then some comments from you guys on YouTube, told me that I had to have done something wrong, because if I'm only rating paddlefish, smoked paddlefish, at a 5 out of 10, I had to have messed up, because it's way better than that. So I think that warranted a second attempt at paddlefish, and for that reason, I kind of changed up the way I prepared the fish. I ate the fish immediately last time. I talked to a bunch of people that catch these things all the time, and they say, no, soak it in salt water for a minimum of 24 hours, a little bit longer if you can. So this bad boy came home, got trimmed up, and it sat in salt water for about a day and a half, almost 2 days. Step one. Step two, I dried it off, rinsed it off, and then put it into a brine. I eat a lot of smoked trout, and a brine makes all the difference when it comes to smoking trout, so I'm going to try that out with paddlefish as well. Now for my brine, and I'm just going to breeze through these, I may miss a couple, I'm going to put exactly what I used in the description. But for the brine, I used brown sugar, soy sauce, onion powder, minced garlic, salt, pepper, and a few dashes of some really hot Tabasco sauce. Mixed all that up and let this sit overnight in that brine. About an hour before now, I took that out of the brine, dried it off a little bit, rinsed it off, and then dried it. And let it set in the fridge so it got a little bit tacky. The outside is just a little bit sticky. And that leads us to right now. So that's what I done in preparation. We're going to give this another try. The second thing that I'm going to do is I cooked at 225 last time, and it took a long time to get that fish to temp. And the longer that fish is in there, the worse it's going to be, I think. It'll make it tougher. So I'm cooking at a higher temp for a shorter time, and we're going to see if that makes a difference. All right, so smokers at temp, I'm going to open this thing up, and I'm just going to place it right on the rack. And what I'm going to do, because I do not want this thing to smoke very long, in fact, I probably don't want it to go over 2.5 hours. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check on this thing in an hour, and if it doesn't seem like it's trending to be done by then, I'm going to bump the heat up a little bit. Goal is to get this thing to about 160, 165, and hopefully we can do that in about 2.5, 3 hours. About an hour into the cook, I'm going to open this thing up and temp it, and we'll see what it's pacing for, whether or not we need to go up, that kind of thing. It's actually, I'm going to flip this around. It's actually looking really, really good. Let's temp this thing and see what it's, oh, it's really soft actually. It is at 145, 147. 154. Okay, so the biggest part of that fish is right at 145, which is the minimum temperature that you're supposed to cook these things when you smoke them. I'm gonna let it go just a few more minutes, get it just a few degrees above that 145 mark, and we're gonna pull that thing and let it rest. What I'm gonna do in the meantime is peel some taters and make some fried taters to go along with this. I'll show you guys how I do that. All right, so I'm gonna make something to go along with these, and I don't know about you guys, but nothing quite goes like fish, whether it's fried, grilled, baked, whatever, like potatoes of some kind. So what I'm going to do today is show you how I fry potatoes. These are a family favorite. Everyone kind of loves them. But what you do is you cube them up, and what I've got in this pan here is some olive oil and butter, probably equal parts. I mean a good helping of butter and a large drizzling of olive oil. And I turn it down to kind of a medium-low heat. You don't want it to actually be bubbling and frying. You want it to be slow cooking. And we're going to put these taters in here. As for seasonings, I don't have a fresh onion handy, and I would normally use one, but I'm going to use this chopped onion stuff. I'm going to put a pretty good, probably like a tablespoon of those in there for some onion flavor. I'm going to be very, very liberal with black pepper. And then this is the secret ingredient right here. Garlic, salt, Lowry's. Anything with Lowry's is always really good, right? But their garlic salt is amazing. I put that shit on everything. So we're gonna put a pretty decent amount of this in here too. And then the last thing that we're gonna do, and this is what makes these so damn good. Oh, where is it? Right here. We're going to stir all those seasonings in. Get everything nice and coated in butter and olive oil. I'm gonna leave it on a medium-low heat. And then we're gonna cover these so that they kind of steam. And we're probably gonna let those steam for about 20 minutes, come back, stir them, another 20 minutes, come back, stir them. They'll kind of cook slow. And as that butter and olive oil reduce, it'll start to, at the very tail end of this process, put a nice golden brown on those potatoes, and they're to die for. Paddlefish is done, has been done for a minute. I turned it down to like 120 just to keep some smoke on it while the taters were finishing up. And they are still not quite done yet, but I'm gonna get this thing out and let it cool for just a little bit. So this is what this thing looks like after smoking for about 2 hours, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to smoke for about 2 hours. I'm gonna flip that over and let a lot of any fats or juices run off of that. But that's what this thing looks like after about 2 hours of smoking. This one is a lot lighter than the last time I cooked it, but it already smells a little bit better, so I'm kind of excited. So we're gonna set this on a plate here. Man, that's a good looking fillet. We're gonna set that on a plate there and take it back inside. Wait for our potatoes to finish up. And then we are going to have round two with our paddlefish here. See if we beat the last time we cooked it. All right, our potatoes are done. And you can kind of tell when they're done. I'm gonna flip you around here. By when the bottom, just like I said it was going to, starts kind of getting that golden brown, and you can easily just kind of run a fork into one of them. Man, that looks good. So, nothing left to do now except plate this up and see what we got. All right, so this is attempt number 2 with the spoonbill. This looks and smells a lot different than the last time I cooked it. Last time I cooked it, it was super, super pink in the middle. This is more white, and it has more of a pink orangeness, like a brown on the outside. Last time I had a lot more of a crust on it, but the temperature gauge went into this a lot smoother than it did last time, so that tells me it's going to be a lot more tender. It's kind of got the texture of pork again. The last time I cooked it, it had that too. Big flakes of kind of like pork-like consistency in the meat. So let's see if we did any better this time. That is much better than last time I cooked this. Oh my gosh. So apparently, putting it in salt water for a day or so before eating it, and then brining it, I don't know if the brine had a lot to do with it. I'm guessing the salt water had most of it. Made a huge difference on it. In fact, last time I ate this, I rated it about a 5 out of 10. I'm going to give this about a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. 10 being like the best fish I've ever had. This knocked it definitely up from just edible to I'm excited about eating this. Really, really good. Last time I ate this, when I would bite into it, it was like an overwhelming fish oil taste. I'm not getting none of that this time. And it's a lot more tender. I remember having to chew on the last pieces that I got quite a bit. Meat on the inside's a lot lighter and flakier. Man, this is just such a better turnout than last time I cooked it. Well, guys, that pretty much brings us to the end of this video. I hope this helped a lot of you guys out. I hope that next time you catch a paddlefish, this video encourages you to try this method because it's really, really good. In fact, it's just as good as frying the paddlefish. Just as good, which is saying a lot because fried fish is amazing. So hopefully you guys will kind of get out of your comfort zone and try some of this. If you guys like what I'm doing, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure that you like the video, and make sure that you drop a comment. If you've got a better way to do it, if you like what I did, if you have a question, I just love hearing from you guys, so make sure that you do that. Also, something new I'm doing. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, I got a link in the description. I actually own a taxidermy business on the side. I do Euro mounts and I do custom plaques. The plaques I sell online, and that's what you'll find if you click on that link in the description. It's I got Wingbone Calls, turkey plaques, Euro mount plaques. I can do custom plaques in the shape of a state. So all that stuff is in there if you guys are interested in supporting the channel a little bit. I really, really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.